And let me tell you, I can relate. I don't know about you, but lately, I find I have less patience for the slow work of organizing, of changing minds, of bringing other folks along to the work that needs to be done. I used to be so patient. I used to be able to tell folks, don't worry, it will all be okay. But now, I have a hard time saying that. And in fact, I'm not sure I believe it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes, you do. Because something has in fact changed. Now, I know the rules. Our modern culture, rooted in the politic of Protestant ethics and whiteness, we don't cause emotional disturbances. We don't amplify ourselves. We don't make waves. To be acceptable, we must be first palatable, contained, even beautiful. Politeness and niceness are what we think of as respect. And love looks like comforting the disturbed or afflicted. But more and more, I tell you, those rules are feeling like the rules of someone else's game. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Friends, I will not bore you with the details of the troubles in our world. I could not explain to you AI if I tried. I could not tell you the dangers it poses to the freedoms we still have, though I feel those dangers. I will not fumble around this morning in waters above my pay grade to explain geopolitics and the fragility of our global systems, but I feel them. I will not rest today in the fear that has gripped our entire world as we watch with bated breath as the fabric of our civilizations buckle under the weight of our collective apathy. I will not tell you about how our planet's fragile climate has passed the point of no return, how the earth we all depend on is in fact slowly dying. Instead, I want to talk to you today about gravity. Gravity. To a single individual person can feel insurmountable, all-powerful even. The strongest jumpers and athletes in our world can only manage to leave the ground for a few short seconds, putting only a few feet of distance between themselves and the earth, before crashing down just as quickly to the power of gravity. Through our collective effort and the miracle of lift technology, we have powerful flying machines that can defy gravity for only a little while longer and at incredible cost. The fuel consumed by these flying machines we call airplanes is in ever shorter supply, and still they fail to defy gravity in a meaningful and lasting way. The slightest malfunction, and these great powerful planes can come crashing down to earth, victims of gravity's power. Through the intense collaboration of wise and powerful scientists, and even more fuel, we have seen how space programs can build rockets to bring only a few human beings far enough from Earth to be released from gravity. And yet, far away from the Earth, isolated and alone, these astronauts must struggle for even the basic necessities of life, necessities our Earth gives freely. And if the astronauts are to return to Earth, which we hope they are, once again, they must grapple with the power of gravity. The most dangerous moments for an astronaut after takeoff are those in the return to Earth, as gravity and the friction of our atmosphere work together to threaten the survival of any object to re-enter our atmosphere. In this struggle, gravity wins too often for comfort. And in our current world, with our current lifestyles, in these unprecedented times, the all-encompassing global culture of our moment can feel as insurmountable as gravity. Even the most headstrong and stubborn activists among us can only resist this gravity for so long before they can succumb as well to its power. Countercultural revolutionaries may succeed in resisting certain aspects of global culture, but eventually we all seem to find ourselves forced to respond to the hegemony and violence of this culture that has infiltrated all our lives. And make no mistake, friends, the world to which we have grown accustomed is indeed a world of violence. We subdue our very nature to survive in the capitalist economies, to protect our families from judgment or isolation. To say nothing of war, the systems that govern our world are rooted in hierarchies of value that place the vulnerable beneath the powerful, the weak below the strong. As Unitarian Universalists, we who are fighting to build beloved community in a world hostile to mutual aid and the practices of love, we can experience this pull of individualism and competition. The resources required to care for one another, indeed to care for ourselves, or to give birth to a new generation of activists seem to be eluding us more and more. As violent organizations like ICE and even our federal government exert ever more power domestically and abroad, resisting them can feel like resisting gravity. Sure, we can show up to a march, but then we come back home. And at least for myself, I end up scrolling on Instagram feeds and purchasing more than I need on Amazon anyway. To be delivered to our front door, these objects come by the labor of the working class who work for far less than they deserve. Sure, we could pay more to seek systems of justice, but as the cost of living outpaces even our wages, resisting the economics of scarcity can also feel like defying gravity. Is it any wonder so many of us ask ourselves, why bother? Why not live out the end of capitalism in comfort? What difference could we make anyway? For those of us who value human life, who value collective responsibility, who seek mutual care and love, we find ourselves embroiled often in interpersonal conflict, second-guessing ourselves, second-guessing our neighbors, seeking comfort at the expense of relationship. It is much easier to stay asleep and not to change. It is easier to just trust authority than to trust our neighbors. Easier to trust comfort than our instincts. But when we do that, friends, we know in our bones that something is terribly wrong. We see what happens when we try to close our eyes and leap. We fall right back down. When we try to resist, it is as if our resistance is so easily co-opted by mass culture, so easily ignored, that trying to defy gravity feels like a fool's effort. But friends, this is not the end of the story, but the beginning. The world wants us to believe that its ways are as strong as gravity, but they aren't. We have forgotten our human power. We have forgotten that as human beings, we possess a magic deeper and more ancient than any system to govern us. We possess a capacity for survival, a capacity for joy that is inherent and unalienable. We have forgotten that we are at our core, all of us, sorcerers who can weave not only the means for our survival, but the reasons to survive with our bodies and our bare hands. We have forgotten that a human being is not just a human being, but a miracle. The reason that Elphaba in Wicked was able to defy gravity is not because she was better than everyone else. It is not because she was stronger or more magical. It's just because she tried. And friends, we must try. We must believe we can try defying gravity. It may seem like a fool's errand to defy the ways of the world, but it is not. It is the means of our collective survival. We know in our bodies, in our hearts, our minds, in our gut, that we must change. But I speak for myself when I say I am sometimes afraid to try. Like the father who brought his son in our gospel text, we must be helped through our unbelief. Oh, sure, we may try to defy gravity in small ways. Let's buy some organic vegetables from the farmer's market. Let's take a sick day and spend it listening to birdsong. We may try to volunteer at a soup kitchen for 1 or 2 days a week. Or maybe we plant vegetables in the backyard of our church. These little acts of resistance are not nothing. They are everything. And yet they are still only the beginning. Friends, what would happen if we were to lean into our defiance? If we chose more than just small acts of resistance, but to fully embody lives of liberty and freedom? What if we were to allow these broken systems, rooted in patriarchy and racism, to die? I'm talking about systems of justice that serve only some of us and victimize others. I'm talking about a healthcare system that serves the male half of our population in disproportionate and unequal ways and sees us primarily as paychecks. I'm talking about our family systems that separate children from parents, spouses from one another, and families from communities, making us governable and tame. I'm talking about financial systems that require us to make ends meet all by ourselves, forcing us to sell our most precious resource, time, in exchange for often broken promises. These systems may feel as powerful and necessary as gravity, but friends, they are not. All we have to do is believe that they are not. But Brother Zachary, you may be thinking to yourself, what exactly are you asking of us? Are you suggesting we let it all go? Are you suggesting we let ourselves go? Are you asking us to pretend like we can make it on our own without these systems? Are you asking me to give all I have away? Are you asking me to give away even the money I need to survive? What are we supposed to do? Quit our jobs? Boycott hospitals? Are you telling me I can never eat another Big Mac, even if it's just one? Are you asking me to sell even my house and live on the street? Are you asking us to take up arms and storm prisons to free the incarcerated inside? What then about our communities? Won't they then be filled with the criminals we liberated? Are you asking us to resist even the police, who show up not only armed, but with the authority of the government and the collective? How am I supposed to defy the systems upon which my life depends? I have to answer you, friends. It is both simpler and more complicated than that. We have come to believe that our lives depend on these systems, and not all of us have the same opportunities or even the same risk. But we have to start admitting that what might feel life-saving and necessary to us right now, what might feel necessary and ubiquitous and unchangeable, is not. It is all optional. It can all be changed. Play the tape forward in your imagination and think to yourself, what will happen if we live differently? The truth is, we do not know what we are capable of. We are human beings. We are magic incarnate. We are capable beyond our greatest imaginations. We can, in fact, move more than mountains. We can move planets. All that is required is that we believe we can. What would happen if, while driving down the highway, we spread heirloom vegetable seeds out the window, far and wide to every square inch of fertile land? What would happen if we began inviting our neighbors, particularly the ones who don't have their own houses, to come and stay with us? What would happen if we started building shelters in our front lawns against the HOA code? What would happen if we all collectively began to try defying gravity? The time has come for us to get creative and to risk more than we think we have to risk. Because if we don't, we will surely lose everything. Some among us do need to quit our jobs urgently. Some among us may need to seek a new history and to investigate the ways of our great-grandparents. Some of us need to learn what microaggressions are, the way we victimize our communities, because we have not done the work to properly cope with our own triggers. Some of us need to learn what pain and suffering our inner child endured and continues to endure, so that we can unlearn the pillars of white supremacy culture. Some of us must unlearn the narrative of history that tells us that we are the most advanced culture to exist on this earth, because I gotta tell you, friends, we are not. We have sacrificed the wisdom and technologies of the past on the altar of our present. Some of us must cultivate ancient tools of connection and spiritual grounding so that we might discover our strength again, discover our magic. All of us must, in our own way, try defying gravity. We can and we will, if only we believe we can. If in our hearts we know that something is terribly wrong, and yet we continue to behave as though we do not feel this way, as though everything were fine, then we have missed the mark. And friends, I am scared that this is our last chance, for we are living in unprecedented times. Unprecedented times require unprecedented creativity. I don't know what you as an individual need to do. Only you yourself can answer that. But I tell you, you must do something. You must change something. And if you have already changed something, then you must change something else. You must do something else. You must risk more than you think you have to risk, because our world depends on it. Our loved ones, the next generation, depend on it. I say all this because something has changed within me. Something today is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts, close my eyes, and leap. It's time we try defying gravity. And I think I will try, from today on, defying gravity. And no one will pull us down. Amen.
No, hear, Brother Zachary. Hear. Please join us in singing number 162. Gonna lay down my sword and shield. You'll find it in your gray hymnal. And please stand in body or in spirit. I invite you to join me in extinguishing our chalice. You can find that affirmation in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. For these we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Friends, as we go forth from this place, let us go convinced of our power. Let us go filled with the trust in our friends, in our community, in our beliefs. Let us go in defiance, ready to reject the ways of the world that do not serve us or our neighbors. Let us go in faith, trusting that we have what we need to be the change we need in the world. Let us go believing in miracles, believing in magic, believing that we too can fly if we so choose, believing that we can become the people our world needs. May it be so.
I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out a war.
so ends our service, and we thank Brother Zachary for being with us here today. It was a pleasure to have you, sir. And I know we enjoyed your message. I would say that your message certainly hit this congregation right where we live, so that was wonderful. So we have hospitality, and I think that Diane and Laura have prepared a hospitality for us, so come on back and enjoy hospitality.